What is going on, guys? It's Brian coming to you from the TST Industries garage. As you can see beside me, I have a gorgeous, very stock 2019 CRF450L from Honda. Today we're going to be removing this OEM fender and replacing it with our Elite adjustable system. We'll touch on a couple of the other things that you see here and a couple of the other products, but this installation is very straightforward, very easy to do, so let's jump right into it. All right, so to start this process off, we're gonna go ahead and remove our OEM seat. You're gonna need a 10mm socket for that, using this bolt and the matching one on the other side. All right, so with those two bolts out, we can actually go ahead and lift our seat straight up and then pull back, trying to dislodge that little clip there. Go ahead and set that off to the side. We're gonna grab a Phillips head screwdriver now, and there's gonna be two screws here in this rear fender portion. We're gonna wanna pull these out. They're just in plastic, so shouldn't take much to break them loose. Set those screws in a safe location. We'll need them again later. All right, and it's at this time that we're gonna go ahead and take these fairings, kind of flex them out a little bit to make sure that these corners clear this rear portion. Then we're gonna go ahead and slide that forward. There's gonna be a clip mechanism, so you're gonna wanna kind of spread that apart and slide forward until you feel it unlodge itself, and then pull that back and off. You can see that little clip mechanism that I was speaking about. That just kind of slides up into the taillight shroud there. So we could go ahead and set this off to the side. All right, so with that tail fairing removed, we're gonna go ahead and flip this little rubber flap here back. That's a little protector for our wires. We just have one more thing that we want to do before we drop our fender, and that's going to be to remove our license plate light wire. So you can see I just pulled this little housing, this little wire connector housing off of its little clip, and then I'm going to take not my tail light, but my license plate light connector, and you can see there's this little tab right here. We're going to lift up on that, and as we lift, pull out on the wire, and you'll have disconnected that. We could go ahead and just set this there for now. We don't have to put it back. We're gonna wanna wire up our license plate light actually using this plug, and then we'll go ahead and plug that back in before we throw everything back together. So we have to jump under the bike now to take out the 4 screws that are holding in our fender. All right, so before we take these bolts out of our fender, we actually wanna go ahead and take out this small push fastener located here by where the license plate light runs into the bottom of the bike. So push the center, grab the outside with an edge. Go ahead and just push that guy out, set it off to the side. Now using our 10mm socket again, we're gonna go ahead and remove these 4 bolts. So keep these 2 that are closer to the front actually handy. We're gonna throw those right back in a second. Okay, so I was trying to avoid that, but actually what you just saw is the spacer from the undertail falling out as I release these bolts. You're gonna wanna make sure, because there are some little spacers that go up into this undertail, you're gonna make sure that if they do fall out, you keep track of them. But what I was trying to show you is if you loosen the bolt up enough, you can actually press up, which I haven't done yet, but you can actually press up on the undertail, and moving the fender away, you can actually go ahead and grab that spacer out of the undertail. So I'll have to find the other one that rolled away, but you do want to make sure that you get all 4 of these out of the bike at this time. All right, so I found my runaway spacer. I can go ahead and continue working on these 2 remaining bolts. I'm going to want to support this as I work on it. Drop that bolt out. Lower it down, try to catch the spacer unless it's stuck in the... Okay, so that one's actually staying put. Sometimes the tolerance is good enough to where they'll actually stay in the undertail. Other times, like that one in the front, you'll see they just fall out. So do just be aware. All right, got that last remaining bolt out. Go ahead and drop my fender down here. I want to go ahead and pull this license plate wire through, looking at the top as I do it, making sure that I'm not ripping that plug off. There we go, navigated it down through. You'll see that your undertail just kind of sags there. You can go ahead and take your fender, throw it off to the side. We're not going to need this anymore. Just going to pull our plate, but we'll do that later. Okay, so with our OEM fender set off to the side, we're going to go ahead and grab one of those frontmost screws and one of its spacers. We're going to actually go ahead and throw that back up into the bike. I'd get that started by hand, and then we can switch to a tool. Don't want to cross thread this. That's a part of your subframe. With that being said, if you guys do want to throw a little thread locking component on this, some Loctite, I'd use blue or something of that sort. This installation isn't permanent for us, but if it is for you, I would suggest doing that. So tighten those down, and we can switch to our tool. Give them an extra little turn. All right, there we go. We can go ahead and move on with our fender eliminator install. All right guys, so it's at this time that we're gonna go ahead and pull some hardware from our fender eliminator kit. We're gonna want the longest bolt, an M6 by 35, and then the larger washer. You'll only have 2 of these. So we're gonna go ahead and mate those 2 up, and then take that bolt and drop it down through that location that those OEM bolts are removed from. Now, make sure that you didn't push that spacer out. I felt that mine just kind of almost fell out there. We're gonna go ahead and take one of our mounting brackets and take that guy and thread this fastener up into it, making sure that this little lobe here is facing towards the back of the bike. Now this is a component that I will 100% advise you to use some thread locker component. I would suggest blue for an application like this, but if you choose to use red, that is also acceptable. You will just want something, because there's a lot of vibrations experienced on these bikes. You don't want this coming loose. So we're gonna go ahead and try to make these as straight as possible. They're a little hard to see in the orientation that they're in, but just go ahead and give that a little bit of a tightening down. We'll come back through and actually crank it down once we're done. So our next step is to grab our little dog bone bracket here. It's not the exact name for it, but it's an extension bracket for our adjustable fender eliminator. Then we're gonna take one of our smaller screws and our smaller washer, mate those up together. We're gonna take those and throw them. There's 2 ends to this little guy here, try to show you. So there's one that has a little exposed lip, and then another side that's completely flush. We're gonna drop that screw through the flush side, and then mount that up to our bracket using the small locating ring that's on that as well. Make sure that that's seated down nicely. Again, I would throw some thread locker on that bolt that we just threw in, but it is ultimately up to you. Highly suggested by us. All right, so with our extension bracket mounted up, we're gonna go ahead and take an L bracket and 1 more of the remaining shorter screws, another smaller washer, and then this nut, which is a nylock nut. You'll see that with the little nylon locking component in there. So we're gonna wanna take this bracket and make sure we have the correct one, because there's a right and a left. So we're gonna wanna take the one that slopes downward and then curves to the inside for this outer right if we're looking at the back of the bike. So we're gonna take this bracket, this L bracket, locate it over that little concentric ring, throw our screw through, washer side out, and then grab the back of that with the nut. We could go ahead and just hand tighten that down. We're gonna wanna eventually come back through and crank everything down, but I'm gonna go ahead and repeat that process on the other side. All the same, just use the correct bracket here at the bottom, the L bracket, and then we're gonna go ahead and mount up our actual license plate bracket. All right, so with our adjustable fender eliminator mainly built up here, as I don't know if you guys could tell, but I kept a good bit of tolerance in between these parts. I didn't tighten anything down so that I have a lot of adjustability here. Can kind of move things around. So I'm gonna take my license plate bracket and my remaining hardware, which should be 2 M5 countersunks, and they're accepting nut features. We're gonna take one of them, drop them through the center hole of our plate bracket like so. throw it through the L bracket, and then cap it off with that matching M5 nut. So we're going to do the same on the other side here, try to get things to line up as nicely as possible. Throw the M5 through the center hole, and go ahead and cap that off again. Okay, so it's at this time that we're going to want to get things nice and evened out. We're going to want to try to get our plate angle as close to where we want it as possible, but we're going to want to make sure that things are centered, and then we can go ahead and tighten down on some of these components so that they're in a more permanent location. All right, very close to finishing this install. All right, so before we throw our license plate on and start to put this bike back together, we're gonna go ahead and install a license plate light. If you guys are keen on details, you'll notice here that this has an OEM connector on it. If you want to see how to use the tap splice that come with a license plate light, please refer to one of our other videos. For this installation purpose, we just went ahead and rewired the OEM one onto we spliced it onto our license plate light so that we could go ahead and plug and play. So that's gonna go right back up through that OEM hole where the original one came out of, actually. You're just gonna wanna pull that up through, and you could either trim the excess wires off or just kind of leave some excess and just bundle it up once you're inside. But you're gonna go ahead and plug that back into the OEM location and reseat that little wiring harness holder right back onto its grommet. Comes off just like it went on. And then leave yourself a little bit of slack, but not too much. You could always pull it back up through. So we're gonna go ahead, take our plate now. Now, if this was a permanent installation, which it will be for you guys, but not for us, you would wanna go ahead and peel this red tape on the license plate light off. That's gonna be some 3M tape. Just make sure that when you're doing that, you get your plate centered. Being that it's not a permanent installation, we're not gonna do that right now. So we're just gonna try and get it as centered as possible and make sure that our plate's centered on our bracket. Check how much excess wire we have there, kind of check our angle on our plate. We'll want to go ahead and adjust this one more time once we're done. But let's go ahead and reassemble the top of the bike, and then we could give the fender eliminator one last look to make sure we're all squared away. All right, so as we start reassembly here, we're gonna take that little push fastener and just throw it back into its position. It's not actually gonna be holding anything, but it will keep any sort of water from getting in that hole. Go ahead and throw that back in. We can take our tail fairing once again. And so similarly to the way it came off, but in reverse, we're gonna wanna slide it into the back here and make sure that we dodge these fairings. Go ahead and take that little rubber flap and cover your wires again if you're done there. So you're gonna wanna spread these fairings apart like that with one hand, kind of get this located down in its general area where it's gonna go, but we're gonna have to go past where it's actually gonna fasten down. So push past, a little bit tricky to do with one hand, but get that tail fairing to kind of flex down into position. You could lift up on it to make sure you got that little clip engaged. Then once you've done that, you can go ahead and reseat these other fairings that you had to push out of the way. Make sure everything's in position. We're gonna grab those plastic fasteners, our Phillips head, drop them down through. Now those do thread into plastic, so you don't have to go crazy tight on them. They will support themselves very well with just pretty normal bottoming out force. So we're gonna go ahead and take our seat, which is our last step. Don't forget, make sure that this latch actually makes its way up into the accepting feature on the tank. Otherwise, you'll have a very floppy seat. So you're gonna wanna start a little bit further back, sliding up, but pushing down while you're doing it, and then making sure that these little tabs miss your plastics. Yep, there we go, just dropped into position. So don't let these little metal tabs of your seat hit your plastics, they'll scratch. Then we're gonna go ahead and drop our seat back down into our location. Make sure that you have a clear line of sight down through. We're gonna take those fasteners that we took out of the seat, thread them back in. As you guys saw, I started those by hand to make sure I'm not cross-threading anything on the frame. It would be a very bad day. All right, guys, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take the couple of tools that I'd use to adjust the fender eliminator, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that now, make sure it's in a location that I like. So I like to loosen up the top brackets first. Try to look at them from the side here and make sure that they should be as parallel as possible. So we're gonna wanna make sure that we can get them into that position. And then once they're in a parallel position, I like to go ahead and lock them down kind of at an angle that I like. So that seems pretty good there. And now we just have to adjust where our plate angle actually sits, which is going to be these bottom screws here. So loosen those up a tiny bit. Those nylock components will hold themselves fairly tight. So kind of adjust our plate. You'll notice that in certain positions your license plate light will hit, so you might want to reduce that angle, play with it a little bit. So a position like that I like a little bit more, so I'm going to lock that down there. All right, guys, there we go. Fender eliminator installed. All right, so I really should have done this before I closed the bike all up, but I do just want to double check that my license plate light is working. It is, so we could go ahead and call this a successful installation of our fender eliminator. If you guys want to pick up that kit in particular, it's available right now on our website at tstindustries.com. Now, just before I let you guys run off, I do want to touch on one thing that I haven't mentioned throughout the video, and that is this taillight here. If you're keen on details, it's obviously not the OEM to you. You're kind of wondering what it is. This is a prototype of our newest taillight that's going to be coming out soon, or depending on when you're watching this video, it may be available already. If you do want some more info on that, you could go ahead and refer to the videos that we have on it, or our website at tstindustries.com. I'll catch you guys next time. This has been Brian with the CRF450L.